Hey guys, Wolvie here and welcome back to the channel. As always, the usual disclaimer. Any opinion here is mine and mine alone. Now this is going to be a bit of a fun project of sorts, and you're kind of wondering, why do I have a laptop? Now, for those who are very close to me in sense of like knowing me very well, I am going to be making an attempt to start my own business with building custom computers here in the Chicago area. And one of the things one needs to get things rolling with starting a business is a laptop, because that way I can take it on to go for, like, let's just say, you know, an inquiry shows up, they want to get a quote, so on and so forth. Now, with that bit out of the way, and I went with a reasonably priced laptop because I'm not fond of people trying to go get all the latest and greatest in the sense of like the best laptop, the best tablet, the best iPad, the most high-end computer if you're starting out, because it's like you're gonna be taking a longer time, in my personal opinion, to get the money you spent on what you get back. So I went, well, you know, completely reasonable in the sense of like, you know, let me get a $100 laptop from Micro Center, which is exactly where I got this particular laptop from. I went about to order a NVMe drive because this particular laptop, this is the ASUS E410MA, and this is in black. Again, these are at Micro Center for about 100 United States dollars. So the actual price elsewhere will very much vary. And again, it's a decent laptop, you know, gives me what I want to do. And I had to do a little bit of digging. It says, okay, what can I do with upgrading what sort of thing? Now, the fortunate thing for this particular laptop, I can actually upgrade the storage, because the number it comes with by default is really subpar in my personal opinion. However, I can actually insert an M.2 NVMe up to 512 gigabytes. And that way, and which is perfect for me, because that way I can, you know, do an external drive for more storage if I need it. So with the NVMe, I can at least put the programs onto it if that is at all doable. So for this particular laptop, to reiterate what it is the E410MA by ASUS. It's in black. If you're based near a Micro Center, this is around 100 United States dollars before tax. You may want to, you know, look on the internet for prices if you're outside the United States, or alternatively, you're in the United States but not near a Micro Center. So for this particular laptop, you are actually able to upgrade the storage, like I said, to 512 gigabytes. Which, again, is perfect for me, because that way I can store some programs onto it, the ones that I really need. You know, let's just say Microsoft Excel, Microsoft Word, and the list goes on. So it doesn't have, you know, much in sense of like features, but it's something to start with, and that's more important to me than going all high-end. Now, when it comes down to all this right here, how do you go about inserting NVMe storage? So outside the laptop, the most important thing you're going to be needing is an M.2 SSD that has to be no higher than 512 gigabytes. This is a Gen 4. This is the 500 gigabyte. This is the P5 Plus by Crucial. So I have that, and fortunately with this particular NVMe SSD, it also came with this. It is the M.2 screw. Now, some people will be thinking like, okay, that's good and all, but how are you going to be able to get this part open? Now, there are a few things you're going to be needing. One, you're going to be needing a like something like this. It's a screwdriver, but it's ideal to do this by hand, because having a wow stick is not bad, but in this particular scenario, it's not a good idea, actually. So having something like this about long, you know, to do things by hand. And you need something to pry this away, so that way you can access where you need to be. So you have something like this. This is it's an opening tool. Also, you can have stuff like this floating around. And I'm going to show you one other type to be on the safe side. And this does resemble a little bit like a guitar pick for those who play musical instruments, I should say. And then another thing that's important to have in this particular scenario is actually an anti-static mask, so that way you don't get yourself injured if everything goes south. So the first thing we got to be doing is I'm going to be undoing all 10 of these screws. And let me grab my metallic bowl, because that's going to become the MVP for this particular video, because without a metallic bowl, yeah, these screws are going to be quite easy to lose. Although an M.2 screw is equally easy to lose. And I do want to mention here, there are 10 of these total. Now, the reason why I mention like these prying tools, because again, there's going to be a part here where it's like you actually have to pry it, quite literally pry it open. We want to do things in a manner where it's like you're not injuring yourself bad. You're not injuring yourself, period. Now, I do want to mention here that when it comes to varying SSDs, and more specifically the NVMe SSDs, some of them may or may not come with the M.2 screw. So if for some reason the M.2 SSD does not come with the actual M.2 screw, you may want to go over to Amazon or even eBay to get like a decent supply M.2 screws, so that way you don't have to worry so much about, okay, how am I going to be able to hold this drive down on a laptop like this. Now, this is in my personal opinion, this is kind of tedious. So it's like, unfortunately, after I get this part open, there's not really a whole lot else for me to do. So it's going to be like, the time-consuming part is getting all 10 screws off, and then just prying it open. That's kind of like a time-consuming portion. And then I do have to disconnect the battery in order to install the M.2 safely. Now, the only tricky thing for me here is, like, you notice my metallic bowl is that I have a lot of other bits and all that stuff in the bowl, so that way it's going to be a little tricky for me to find all 10 screws. But the important thing here is that the fact that they're all in the metallic bowl, so that way it makes it less frustrating for me to try to locate them. Now, I did a double check here with this particular portion, because you do need to get access to the battery aspect in order to insert the NVMe. Now, like I said, you do need a prying tool of sorts. Let's see if I could grab this. Okay. Ah, there we go. There we go. And the reason why you need like a prying tool of some sorts, like, to get this open, because again, this is where the like certain things you need to get to are. So once you pry this side open, and it's going to take a little while for me to do it. Okay. Okay, so it looks like I am not quite done with unscrewing because I forgot there's one other screw here that I completely forgot about. There we go. That's that. So this is the this is okay. Let me put this aside somewhere. So pretty much this is it right here. Now, as I noticed in a YouTube video, there is no way you can upgrade the RAM here. There is the Wi-Fi antenna right over there. There's other stuff here with the motherboard. I'm not going to be tampering with any of this because, again, I just bought it. And the only thing I'm really doing is going after that guy right over here, and that where my screwdriver is pointing to is the NVMe. Now, what I'm going to be doing is, like I said, I do need to disconnect the battery momentarily because that way I can do this safely. See if I can. Okay, there's good. Okay. Okay, I'm going to be right back with this one. Okay, so I'm back. I actually, I was trying going after the wrong side of the battery, so I actually had to disconnect this. But again, like I said, if you're just doing the NVMe like I am, this is pretty darn easy. And again, and I say this with the caveat, if you know what you're doing. Because I'm not one of those people who likes to assume that people know what they're doing, especially when some people don't have a clue. Now, I'm going to do right over here, because I know where the spot is. Oddly enough, I'm going to double check something really quickly. Okay. And this is it right here. Okay. So, what we have here is a successfully inserted NVMe. Again, this is at 500 gigabytes, so I know this is going to work. So I got here, like I said, the crucial storage drive came with the M.2 screw, so I really got lucky here with this particular video. There we go. We now have a successfully, we now have expanded the storage here to 500 gigabytes. And let's see if I can get this on the first try. There we go. Now we have, like I said, if I were to do anything else that's not, like, let's say, I'm going after the Wi-Fi or reapplying thermal paste, like, it would have been a lot more than just, undoing the battery. But like I said, I'm lucky it's just the battery that I'm doing. But again, when it comes to like this particular laptop, it is like the whole process for me to like even get to this section to just insert the M.2. And again, this is the ASUS E410MA laptop. It's like, this is super freaking easy. Now, but like I said, you're going to need the tools that I mentioned earlier to pull this off. So I'm just going to reinsert the, gotta make sure this is fully secure before I screw it in. Gotta make sure, because I don't want to, there we go. And now the final thing to really do here is put all the screws back into place. Now, mind you, it's going to take me a little bit because I want to make sure I have every screw accounted for. I do want to mention though, with regard pertaining to this particular laptop, you kind of notice that where the M.2 screw like spot is, like once you open this and disconnect the battery, is you notice there's like an extra hole there. But like I said earlier, this is pretty much expanding the storage for this particular laptop. Now for me, like I said, I do plan on getting an external storage drive. I don't know the exact number of terabytes, but it's probably going to be like things like business inquiries, legal stuff that comes down the line, etc., etc. But I mean, for the fact that I was able to watch like maybe one or two videos like on YouTube, like about how to insert an NVMe SSD into this specific laptop, it's just like, wow. It's like go after the bottom thing, pry it open, disconnect the battery, bada bing, bada boom. I mean, but the only time-consuming thing is the screws, and that's just making sure that everything, like pertaining, like all the necessary stuff is like done. And then the key thing to have in order to do this safely is, again, make sure you have a anti-static mat, because there are electrical things. And then another thing, really good thing to have, is a metallic bowl, like something like this. Doesn't have to be the exact same one. And then another thing is just like, I personally just like have a bit of patience, because some of these screws are an absolute pain. Now, what I'm going to be doing off screen after I get done filming this video is just, fire up the laptop, make sure it's working. So that way, I can see, what's going on. I can do what I need to do, if that makes any sense. I'm looking here. I think I am down to. I'm going to double check something after I get one of these screws and make sure I know it's one or two screws remaining. Okay, let me see here. Okay, so it looks like I'm down to just a singular screw. Let me double check, make sure this is somewhat tightened. Okay. If I could get my hands on the screw, that'd be great. There we go. Is that the right one? Let me grab something. Okay, so I'm actually going to end this video here and now, so that way I don't get too frustrated on my end. So I'm done with Wolvie here, signing off. I will catch you all on the flip side.